As you can see by the title, I wanted to talk a little bit about censorship and social media and stuff, and the political climate now, etc., and the much ado about Facebook, social media, censoring posts, people being all upset at the president. Anyone who studied American or U.S. government, you know we're supposed to have a two-party system. So typically, it's okay to be part of either standpoint. You're supposed to be able to side with either side without getting in trouble or, being ostracized by people. It's not really supposed to be like, for example, like the Republican Party. Party is not supposed to be associated with hate. President Trump's not supposed to be associated with hate. They shouldn't be able to just censor the president just because they've associated him with hate in their minds. Okay, thanks. But the left thinks overbroad. So the stuff, it's so tainted with overbroad leftist thinking. I really wonder if anyone's thinking anything sane or rationally. Anyway, I first wanted to go over a couple tweets that I saw on Twitter. Thanks to Dr. Michael Brown, confirming that Black Lives Do Matter. Please separate yourselves from the Black Lives Matter movement. Soon enough, it will turn on you and cancel you. You have been forewarned. Thank you, Dr. Brown. Then I should separate myself. Except what I'm saying is a different message, probably, they're saying. So I'm not part of saying that lives matter. There's much to say about, siding with the idea people could be oppressed and, prejudice or law enforcement is abusive authority. I know that already. We talked about that for a long time. Systems not always fair. I love the background noise. Systems not always fair. Yeah, and then Michael Brown says, "Careful what you wish for. After defund the police, it would probably be defund the rich." Nice one. There's something else he said that was good. No, that was pretty much it. For the absurd article that lady wrote against Zuckerberg. If you know me, you know I'm in favor of not being censorship. I'm against censorship. So I'm in favor of, obviously, community standards and stuff where you protect kids from bad content. That's normal. I think America's obscenity laws are fine now. It's a high bar to get in trouble for obscenity. Just to say it very in summary, George Soros was in favor of Mark Zuckerberg stepping down. That was weird. That's a weird article. That's a weird article. But I don't know about this much ado to censor stuff more or to censor. I understand what they're trying to say. They don't want to see things, or they don't want to see politicians saying things that incite violence. I can see how that's a hot button topic to get people upset. Before, this year, or in the month of March and April, I didn't see much. Oh, maybe that's a lie, because of who I friended on Facebook. I wanted to see what liberal people were saying also. But I never really see that many hateful posts anyway. Facebook, mostly people like to put their families, or they like to put what they're doing, or if they go on vacation, they like to put what their pictures are. I don't see much hate. I don't do that. But if I had friended someone who is of the KKK, then I would expect to see them posting that stuff. And if I didn't like it, I could unfriend them, block similar posts. That's enough to say like it's okay to have that much oversight. As a lot of people know, I actually run my own social network. It's RetroBook. I put that in like Facebook. So I don't have that many people. I made the rules really easy to follow. So that's when at the time did that last year. I started my own concerns, and on this panel, I was talking about what my qualms with Facebook was that talking about the detrimental effects of blocking in society, because it's not a very realistic mechanism. Because in reality, it's not as easy to block someone standing in front of you, or before Facebook, before we had cell phones. It's not as easy to block a call if you have phone calls coming in, or to claim harassment. It used to be a lot harder, you know. Blocking is way like too easy, and it gives you a false sense of security, and it makes society extremely negative. It's just so I try to start a social network that is more positive in nature. People could feel better about being there. But anyway, I'm not in favor of censorship. I don't think Zuckerberg should have to worry that much or step down or anything. Like I was saying earlier in this broadcast, for some reason, people are associating hatred with Trump, as if Trump can't say anything more ever, or as if he can't like buy Facebook ads. Obviously, he's going to buy Facebook ads for his presidential campaign. He's running for president. He's running for president. Okay, he's running for darn president. Obviously, he's going to like buy Facebook ads on social media and so forth. What are you criticizing? What are people criticizing ads? School Chronicle. Is called Clean Up Your Act. The social media company has taken steps towards reining in Trump. It's too little, too late. Look, I don't know what this lady's problem is, because she sounds really liberal and stuff, which is why it rubs me the wrong way. Hatred with Trump, when it's not really like, I don't really think that's a realistic position. I don't think Trump supporters should have to feel as though they're siding with hatred. That's utterly stupid. Let me see what she's. I'm trying to find a quote to read here. Okay, she says, "You seem to be shifting toward labeling." But this is written directly towards Zuckerberg. "You seem to be shifting toward labeling after insisting recently to your employees that you recent days as your stock price goes down." She talks about the movement to boycott Trump. To boycott Facebook ads. Let me start at the beginning here. She says, okay. "I put the dishes in the dishwasher," my son said to me recently, "as if it was a favor rather than something he could do just because. This prompted me to write to you, Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook chief executive, with all the irritation of a mother whose last nerves were worked a long time ago when it comes to the abuses that thrive on your platform. I'd like to let you know you get 0 claps for doing a tiny right thing after doing the wrong thing for far too long. Last week, you announced that you are finally labeling the most egregious dreck that is broadcast on Facebook President Trump after years of his behavior. That's too little, too late. It's too calculating. You and other Facebook executives keep calling out the tired line. We know we have more work to do. It's irksome. You won't like me when I'm irked." So, like, what's this lady's problem with like any of this? He's the president. He can say what he wants to on Facebook so people know what Commander-in-Chief is saying, so that we have an educated populace who knows what their Commander-in-Chief is saying. But it's only one platform. He could boycott. Trump could boycott Facebook. Who cares? Trump has access to the media. He could go to a CNN report, or he can hold a press conference in the White House and talk. That's the good old-fashioned American way. Zuckerberg doesn't hold all the power. I don't understand this. What's her problem with Trump saying anything on Facebook? Did they? I mean, what is this egregious strike? Is that the part where you said about the gun violence and the looting? Like, okay, all that means is like once people start criminal activity in a city, I know the historical implications are a civil rights movement crap. That sounds wrong, but like once people do start like criminal activity in a city, then it becomes a dangerous thing to others. It doesn't matter if you're with the far left whack job horse crap, okay, where you think they're right. And I also understand the political climate where you have to side with the protesters, is what I've said before elsewhere. I don't understand that kind of political climate where you have to side with the protesters in order to be cool. That's why they started digging on Mark Zuckerberg, because he wouldn't take down the post by Trump that said that, okay? But to me, if the commander in chief is saying that, I want to know what he's saying. So I'm an educated voter, okay? I know we'd find out anyway, but they wanted Mark Zuckerberg to slap it down on him and stuff. So I don't agree with any of this. It's all crappy. Social media companies should stop censoring us. These CEOs should stop worrying about what people can say. It's all political hoopla, and like what's that one more brouhaha? This is all just like blowing up on people because of the protests and the movement, etc. And the changes that want to have come. It's all just blowing up. So it's all compounding upon itself. Let me pause and get a drink of water here. So anyway, it's already a political climate where everything's blowing up on us when it comes to Black Lives Matter and stuff. And they're being hypersensitive because they think they can threaten protests, further rioting, and burning down buildings. They think, the Republican whites who have money have to stop and more will happen. And so they're demanding to be doing business in, because it doesn't have the sense of a fair playing field where we understand the rules up front and everything's going smoothly. It's just a bunch of ruckus and noise and astonishing political activity. How does anyone expect something fair to come out of a political climate like that? It's completely like the politics of reaction, or the politics of social change. I tend to almost get censored in that way. I'm sorry about that. But what was the other topic I was going to do? If you can just be patient for a second, I can get my head together. NWA and stuff, remember, like back in the 90s stuff, there was a lot of hoopla over, the censorship of NWA depicted in that one movie, Straight Outta Compton. Not so much like racial hatred per se. You have to listen to them to really get it. But I understand there were some songs that were not even. There are some songs that NWA were not even allowed to perform live. That's what I saw in the movie Straight Outta Compton. I understand that's probably true. Because I was alive and consciously aware at the time. Interestingly, when Bill Clinton was running for president, I think it was the first time, we were all worried about his vice presidential candidate, Al Gore, whose wife was in favor of censorship, Tipper Gore. We were afraid, or we were concerned about her censorship tendencies, that being a very liberal tendency. Like I said, I'm all, I'm in favor of community decency and stuff, protecting kids from obscene content. It's a different issue when the overall broad scope thing where you want to censor a president on social media because you're too far left to stand what a Republican president is saying or whatever. It's so divisive politically and stuff. It's just, this is a terrible political climate. I know I saw, Ann Coulter, like, now she's criticizing the way life looks during Trump's administration. I keep seeing that happening too. Um, what was the other topic I was going to go for? Gee, I wanted to say about social media. I talked about my own social media site, etc. People are that. Oh yeah, John Wayne. They wanted to rename John Wayne Airport. It was on Facebook. A friend of a friend was asking us if we thought John Wayne, the actor, was racist. I have to search my activity. If John Wayne, the actor, was racist, and then should they rename John Wayne Airport? Let me see. Is my activity log going to even show this, or is my activity log not going to even show that? Yeah, it shows it. I think this is from. She gives a meme, social meme here. Do you believe John Wayne was a racist, and his name should be removed from the John Wayne Airport? And I said, well, he sounds racist in talk by our modern standards. He's from, um, he saw things evolve in society in a different way than what we've seen. He never saw that like he wanted is people to be educated before they took places of authority. It sounds racist, but I think that's a different like time. So while on one hand he sounds racist to us, I don't see the need to change the airport name. It's because you're overemphasizing one thing over other things. Because why did they ever make that an airport name in the first place? It's because they're honoring his accomplishments as an American. And it's our country pride in like the country western movie and television style. So I'm sure the other things he did are worth mentioning as well. So I said yes, he's racist talk by our modern standards, but he lived in a different time. They're overemphasizing one particular thing over other things. There's too much heightened sensitivity to stuff like that. And people who lived in earlier times, you can't ever. It just seems like it wasn't right by this movement. Who I don't know how you can say it. I don't know how you can say it. It seems a little arbitrary overall. But is there inequality? Yes, there is. There is currently inequality. Still, are things perfect? No.
You may remember an apprehension.
It's it feels terrible to be dealt with as a second class citizen. So they could be the fact of the matter. But like I said, I separate from the movement. I wasn't really behind the riots and stuff. There's a better way of handling uh, those kind of political concerns, and it's called talk to your Congress people, talk to your politicians, representatives, and that's how to affect political change. We don't affect political change by lawless behavior and so forth, and bring down statues that represent what our country stood for. So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm pretty much done with this broadcast. Thank you for listening. I've been on 20 minutes or whatever. Really?